My name is Derek Goode, and this is Franklin Boulevard Media. So the crazy thing is, it's technically the same area. I live at Crowder's Mountain, and Crowder's Mountain is technically Kings Mountain, but it's actually in Gaston County. So I've kind of never left the area. So I went to school in Kings Mountain, and after I graduated high school, my preliminary plans were potentially to go to school or either, do something different, military or something to that effect. And then I had a son, which has probably saved my life because I was doing a few different things that I probably shouldn't have been doing. Still trying to find myself as a young man. And, things kind of got a little more focused. And then from there, I bought my first house. My son inspired me to buy my first house. So to find my way part, before my son was born, I had like a lawn service and a bunch of other different things. I've always catered with my mom. And so most people don't know this. So after a football game, I would get up early on Saturday morning and go cut all the grass that I had to cut, like 15, 16 yards. And I've always been kind of an entrepreneur like that. So my parents, I grew up peeing in a corner of a convenience store in Bessemer City called Bob and Shirley's Mini Mart. My dad had great aspirations of owning a bunch of property and even had some blueprints and things done to change his community. And that was kind of where he grew up, where he built the store, and then where he wanted to build some apartments and some other different things to enhance the community. And my parents were always doing something like that, especially my mother. So to kind of bring it forward, I kind of adopted that dream. I wanted to do something different as an entrepreneur. So the lawn service was, my dad passed away when I was younger. And, it was kind of like one of those things, you needed a little job, you needed something to do. So I started cutting in the neighborhood, and then it just kind of ventured out, and I went and got a couple churches, and went and got a couple neighbors. And, before I realized that I was all over Gaston and Kings Mountain. Yeah, I was hustling. I still got the truck, and I still got the cut in the bed of the truck where the blades were still going, and it cut a hole in the blade in the bed of the Chevrolet truck. I still got the truck. At least 10 to 15 every Saturday. And sometimes I get up on Sunday morning just to make sure the churches look good. So the crazy thing is it's a little more. So I worked at Fines and Afterthoughts and Circuit City. I've pierced ears. I've I've done a couple different things. Even, shoveled shit. Didn't want to do that. Literally shoveled shit. So, and that's fast forward. And actually I did it at a place called Simplex Grinnell where I used to work at. And it was just something that needed to get done. So instead of waiting, let's just get it done. It was essentially shit. So my older brother and his best friend said, "Hey, do you know a guy that wants a good job, and it doesn't mind getting dirty?" And he's like, "Yeah, my brother." So I kind of got put into it like that, and it was pretty cool. I got weekends off with my son, and that was the primary thing because at that time Circuit City was working me to death. So 12 hours, 7 days a week, just to try to make something happen. So this job came along. I had a company vehicle, and I got weekends off. So I got to go pick my son up on Thursday because we went to the football game on Friday, every Friday. We had a difference of opinions at work, and it was just time for me to go. And I think God has a way to push you out when He knows you can do more. My umbrella was no longer there. Like a job like that for me is like a no-brainer. I just go and show up, and I can kind of get paid and do what I want to do. But now I have to think for myself, and not only for myself, my son. I bought a house when I was 20 years old. I was working at this company, and now at 22, I'm doing my own thing for Goode Fire Protection Services. And I had to kind of get out of my own way and, kind of get my anxiety under control because I really didn't like talking to people, but I had to get them to believe in me and had to create instant rapport. So I had to move myself out of the way, or my son wouldn't eat, because that was my livelihood. So I just kind of hung out for a little bit, about a month or two, and just kind of gathered myself. And then I did odd jobs and things of that nature. Then I just started Goode Fire Protection in September 2002. We service fire suppression systems, emergency lights, extinguishers. So I'm a technician. And what I end up doing is going and servicing the fire suppression system inside of the hood that they cook in. So if you're frying something, or you're cooking something, or getting something off the grill, above it there's a fire suppression system, and we maintain and maintenance those things. It's like a really, really big fire extinguisher. Hibiscus Grove is, I think, where we're going with that. Hibiscus Grove is something that started because I wanted to do my dad's apartments years ago, and that just kind of stopped abruptly. And I had an opportunity. I was traveling a little bit with one of my friends at the time, and I discovered for the first time Airbnb. And I already owned several homes and houses and things of that nature. And then I was like, so maybe I can do that. And I was renting them at the time. And so I sold a few and took the money that I had and renovated one of the properties and made it absolutely beautiful. And we started Airbnb from there. And that was how kind of Hibiscus. And the guys keep on, I say Hickory sometime, but Hibiscus Grove. We hope to do a grand opening in April of all three locations, and have you guys out, and just want to capture it all. So I really just want to change my community and show kids and everybody that you can do whatever you want to do. It's going to come with a little trial and tribulation, and that's anything that's worth having is going to come with some of that. So what I see for Gaston County is, I have to go back just a little bit. We used to do something called Dare to Dream. And it's where we brought kids from wherever they needed to be, whatever they needed at the time. We did this for almost 10 years. And we just gave kids school supplies and loved on them and showed them things that they hadn't never seen before, as far as bulldozers, bobcats, fire engines, police cars, and an actual motocross racetrack with pro riders. So it was just a thing that, how can you ask someone to do something different when you keep showing them the same thing? So where I see the future of Gaston County, and where I see my impact is just being the light that someone else could follow. Even though I don't think I'm shining, somebody's watching. And I want to make sure they got something to see. So here's one of the best quotes from me, I think. We all have wonderful goals, and we all have wonderful ambitions, and we've been taught for years to keep your eye on the prize. And you can do this, just stay focused on the prize. Well, I scream bullshit. And the reason is, how many times have you gotten focused and asphyxiated on something and stopped moving? So for me, I learned a lot on Crowder's Mountain, taking people up. They were always daunted by the task of climbing the mountain. When I told them, I said, if all you can do is remember to breathe and focus on your steps, and before you realize it, you'll be at the top. So all I'm doing is trying my very best to keep moving.